up whatever she want. CC Gucci, he gon' take up whatever she want. She piss me off somehow, she still get whatever she want. Talking about another, I'm finna another. Hit it in the shot, made her tell me what you want. Like I'm singing bass, I made her tell me what you want.
Tell me what you want.
She on the power trip again.
Let's see.
Just pull up my pants and do the rock away.
Oh, yeah. Let's wait a little while. Let some people come in the building. So we are at welcome. We are at episode 4, although this is not my 4th time. I actually went running. Did I go running yesterday? Not yesterday, but the day before yesterday. I just didn't go live. I don't always go live, y'all. I don't know if like I said, I actually like doing this. I like, it holds me accountable. So if I've got a blog, then I've got a blog, Okay, so let's, I wanted to start off with some fire music because I always listen. Before I get going, y'all, I always kind of get myself psyched up because I'm going to be honest. Yes, I work out, but I don't necessarily feel like it every day. I don't necessarily like it. I mean, who likes running to the point where their chest feels like it's about to burst? Nobody does, right? But runners do it. So let me see. I guess I can get out at y'all and start talking. There's a few things that I want to talk about. I'll talk about some of it in here because I don't necessarily want people thinking I'm crazy talking to myself. So like I said, I went back and I listened to the rest of Reg's show yesterday. Y'all are funny. Oh my God, y'all are funny. Y'all are funny. I think a good 15, 20 minutes of it. Y'all were discussing Austin Holloman's mom's breasts. That was quite entertaining. But no, I think having Austin Holloman's mom over would be a great interview. I think that would be great. And I know the fellas over there would be respectful to her. So, yeah, that would be actually a great interview. But anyway, you guys are funny. I went back and I listened to Mr. Robert Connolly, and I listened to myself. I'm going to start with myself first. I don't understand, and I mean, I listened to it like 2 or 3 times just to see what I could have said to why people just didn't seem to get the point I was making. I could have went over there. Hello, living life to the fullest. I could have went over there and given a long history of myself, but most people over there know. I thought most people over there know me and know my background and how long I've been on YouTube and stuff like that. So I didn't feel like that was something that would be new to anybody. So, and like I said, the topic was brought up because it was something that was brought up on another show, and I thought, oh, this would be interesting to talk about this. Because I have brought that up on my own channel before. 2 alphas. Can 2 alphas work together? So, like I said, it wasn't hard to find. I went through some old trainings, and then I found a website, right? .gov.mil with personality tests, right? Just a very simple assessment type thing that often, I won't say often because I don't know how often, I can only speak for myself. For my training type, I went through a specialized training to be an EO representative. Everybody should know what EO means, but if you don't, that just means equal opportunity representative for a unit, okay? In that position, you have to learn about people and personalities. You also have to there's lots of assessment tests that you have to take. They got to make sure you're not a bigot. They got to make sure you're not a racist. They got to make sure that you know how to treat people fairly. No isms are allowed. No sexism, no racism, no ageisms are allowed. That's actually a part of the training. is getting people to acknowledge that they, almost like every human being on the planet, has been taught some form of ism in their life, whether it's racism, sexism, ageism, whether you realize it or not. So there's a lot of different little assessment type things that we would do. For instance, if I ask a group of people, how many people in their lifetime have said something, oh gosh, what do I want to say? Prejudice. A lot of people would, and I would say go stand to the left side of the room. A lot of people would get up and go stand to the left side of the room. But when we dig further into it and we start using examples, and then we ask that same question, have any of you ever done any of these things? Almost everybody moves to the right side of the room. See what I'm saying? So these are just different type of assessments, tests, games, whatever you want to call it, for people to learn about themselves. So once again, I'm going to reiterate this. The purpose of me going over there, giving that little assessment, and I said it was a very shortened, I played it almost like it was a game. I took three characteristics, not definitions, but characteristics of each category. Right? A characteristic, we talked about this, of an alpha is being assertive. A characteristic of a bravo is being a team player. Those are just characteristics, not definitions. Okay? But I took those things and I asked, are you this? Are you this? And what the test proves, or what the experiment proves, is that most people are a mixture, right? Because you can have an assertive person that's also a kind person, right? And kindness and friendliness falls under Charlie type personality, according to the book, right, that I got it from. So I don't understand. I just don't. And I try, y'all. One thing about me, I will evaluate myself till the cows come home. I just don't understand how and why any of that sounded offensive to anybody. The only way in my mind that any of that stuff that I went over could have been offensive is if maybe people were not comprehending it the right way. And I'm just being honest, and it's not to put anybody down. Maybe I didn't make it clear. I don't know. I feel like maybe it was not clear of my purpose. People were not there the whole thing. Now I will say, even though I was prepared, but I wasn't prepared for Zoom. So I don't know how to share things on Zoom. I know how to share things on StreamYards. So as far as that live stream, me having to leave, my computer cutting off, yeah, that stuff showed me being unprepared. Factual. Cannot deny that. And I'm not upset about that because I agree. I agree, but those are things that happen when you go live. Hey, Big Cap. I'm just talking, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit about health and fitness when I get out of here. But I wanted to recap. So I just did not understand, because I listened to different points of view about what I said. I guess what I'm going to say in short is that all of us, and I kept on saying misogynistic. I gave an example, and then that example actually meant I was trying to balance the conversation, because I was talking about chauvinism and misogyny, but I also gave an example where I meant misandry, but I kept on saying misogyny, because they're two sides of this, they're opposite sides of the same coin, but it's the same thing. Okay, I was talking about how misandrists blame men for a lot of things instead of taking accountability, and I was saying that misogynists are kind of the opposite. Okay, but they just don't value the strengths or the opinions of women. But the thing of it is, And that's a part of being an EO representative. You realize that everybody has a little bit of that in them. It's not an insult, it's just the facts. And a lot of people have it because of the way they grew up. I am grateful, like I said to y'all many times, I grew up in a very mixed household with brothers and sisters. And so I'm going to be honest, I never really had an experience with sexism until good morning, Cynical One, until I went into the military. That was my first actual, and now, of course, I see it all over the internet, but that was my first ever experience with sexism. And it's there is no place for it in any. There's just no place for it. It's horrible. There's definitely no place for it in the government, in any government agency, in any military. There's just no place for it. Sexism can include it's the scales not being balanced. It's if you got two soldiers, one's a male and one's a female, and you automatically assume that the one soldier can't do something just because of the sex. And it can go either way. You won't even give the person a fair chance. That's an example of sexism. And I went through that. I had to work doubly as hard, which my mom, thank God, had already prepared me for that. She said, you're a black woman. You are going to have to be 3, 4, 5 times. You're going to have to be not only better than your counterparts, you're going to have to be like 3, 4, 5 times better. You're going to have to prove yourself more. And she was absolutely right. What other people can do and get away with, I couldn't do and get away with. I could not pass my PT test. You know what I'm saying? I had to excel at my PT test, and I did. And I won awards for it and all this and that. But that's the world we live in. We don't live in a fair world. So when I was saying those things, it wasn't to insult anybody. It was just to tell the truth about it. Like, we live in a world where that's what it is. And am I trying to change somebody? No, I know I can't. If you had a mindset, you've been brought up a certain way to believe certain things about men or women, that's how you believe. And there's nothing I can do about it. Definitely not in a few minutes that's going to change your way of thinking. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to do that, honey. If you're a racist, there's nothing that I can say that's going to make you not a racist. If you're ageist and you just don't believe, I was watching a movie the other day with Robert De Niro, and he, y'all remember that movie? And he went back to work. He was retired, and the whole office was ageist against him, gave him a desk job. They just assumed there were things he couldn't do. Listen, if you got that mentality, that's the type of thing that has to be worked on by the person. Nothing I can say can change that. If you were like my platoon sergeant at the time and you didn't think women belonged in the military, and like he said, he was doing everything in his power to get me out of his military, that's how you believe. I will say this. I raised my hand and I pledged to my country just like he did. So I have no idea why he thought it was his military, but I politely let him know that this is my military too, honey. And the military that I work for, sexism is not tolerated. Racism is not tolerated. Is it there? Does it exist? Yes, it is. But it's not tolerated. And that's where people like me, people like EO representation, EO officers, we come into play, because it's our job to get rid of that trash, because it's trash. I'm going to be honest. Soldiers, they pledge their lives, their families' lives, really, because they give a piece of up to serve, and they should all be treated with the utmost respect. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I take that seriously. Now let's move forward. Let's move on to Mr. Connolly. Yeah, when I first saw it, and he was like, "Oh, Mahoghany Rootz didn't say anything, did you know?" And then he made reference to people um, not having any sense. And this is what's ironic to me. You can look. I will put my. And y'all got my word on this. I will put my paperwork, my grades in college and in high school up against any of these people in this sector. I repeat that. I will put my grades, my GPA up against anyone in this sector. Okay? And I hate to keep on bringing it up, but these people sit on their high horses and act like they're so intellectual and this and that. I listened to his interview, and I'm gonna be honest. I understood where he was going, but he was all over the place, and some of it did not make sense to me. But I would have gladly given him the option. Maybe instead of him focusing on my interview and how, nonsensical my interview was and how I babbled, maybe if he just focused on his own interview, maybe he could explain some of the things he was talking about a little bit better. Because he made the comment, black people, as far as in the sense of time, have only been here, a minute. And I think I understood what he was saying, if you're looking at the age of the earth and the planet. But yeah, you explain your concepts versus trying to tear me down. You see what I'm saying? He just couldn't wait to get up there. And you see how it backfired on him? I mean, and I'm not making this a bashing thing. This is not a bashing thing. This is just me looking back on it, looking back on both of us. So the only thing I could imagine is maybe the day before the interview, maybe he had taken issue with something that I said or done, because honestly, during that interview, I didn't say anything that should have been offensive to anybody. There's an old saying, hit dogs holler. Literally, I didn't take shots at anybody or anything like that. So I definitely think it's a thing of misunderstanding. Now, let me think about some of the things he said. Some of the things that he said on his interview. His whole thing was the language, because I guess that's his career. He specializes in language, and he said that the words that I were using were Greek terms. Well, the fact is, okay, but I'm reading from a source, so get mad at the source. You're literally just shooting the messenger. I'm telling you based on the assessment test the shortened assessment test that I was using. That's what they call those words. Then he said, oh, she didn't give the definitions. Well, I gave characteristics of the word alpha. Alpha just is basically, y'all know that quote, I am the alpha and I am the omega. Alpha is the beginning. But I was talking about personality types. So I was giving a description of categories that fall into that personality type. I don't understand how this is hard for people to understand. I'm puzzled. And then just to be so angry about it, the way he seemed like he was. He went on further to say, and I could tell, y'all, I've been on here long enough to tell the type. He made a few comments. He made a comment that he doesn't talk to women. He doesn't, speak on women and stuff like that, because he doesn't know what it's like to be a woman. And then he made a comment about, Mahoghany's up here dividing men and speaking on men. It wasn't even about men. It was about personalities. Now, do they have tests that deal strictly with male personality types? Yes. But because our military is mixed gendered, right? It's not just men that join the military anymore. The test that I was given is an updated test. I don't know what test he's talking about, but the test I was given was an updated test, and it's not based on sex or gender. It's based on people. It's based on personality alone. So that's why I'm saying I just think it was a huge miscommunication, and it's sad. It was a missed opportunity, really. I wish he had came back up for me to be able to explain and talk to him further. But you know, when people have, when they have their beliefs and they think they know you and they think it's really hard to speak to somebody like that because they've already got misconceptions and notions about you. Now, what else did he say? But he seemed to have an issue with the language that I use. And once again, sir, I didn't make up the language. The language is what it is. I'm just the messenger. Then the next thing was, he said that it was stuff, damn, it's starting to rain and I ain't even got out here yet. He said it seems as if he was speaking as a pro-Black. Now, everybody knows I've been saying this for many years, that I consider myself pro-Black, but let me give you a definition, my definition of what pro-Black is. Pro-Black does not mean you hate other people of other races, because I don't hate a damn soul. I love people. I love all people. But it does mean that my primary goal is to support my community first. For me, it's community first. My community first, because if I feel like if I don't support my community, who will? Because every other community supports their own first. It just makes logical sense. It's survival. So what does that mean? That means Mahoghany Rootz will drive 30 minutes to get to show another brother or sister some give them some business, versus going to the Walmart that might be right around the corner. Mahoghany Rootz will drive out the way to go to this restaurant. It might be a little bit higher in price, but I know the reason they're doing that is because they don't get very much Black business. But I will go out my way to give that person my business, my money, my economics, because I understand we have to support one another. That's all it means to me. Now, for him, it means we can't use certain words and we can't follow, quote unquote, I guess, the white man's prototype and all this and that. It was a completely different discussion than what I had. That's what I need. I wish that brother had understood. But to sit up there and put me down and say that I don't have any sense, and you got Macbone. I'm gonna be as nice about this as I can, but Macbone has been clowned for years in this space. No one believes that Macbone is a Mac. No one believes it. I'm sorry. And he's down there just a typing away, honey. Just a typing away, throwing little things out at me. I'm ignoring them, to be honest. Today I went back, or yesterday I went back and I saw some of it. And I was just like, dude, you really want some attention, don't you? You really want some attention. He said he was writing a book. What's going on with your book? Maybe if you put that energy into finishing up that Mac book of yours, then, listen, I've been around some of the player type dudes. And Mac, I'm sorry, you don't fit in. You don't fit in. Like, I just don't think this is what you want. I don't think you really want to come for me. But this is not the first time that I've gotten into it with old Mac Bones. I was up there. It happened a while ago, but I was up on Reg's channel, and we got full-fledged into it. Okay? Because he wanted to call me a black bee and all this and that, and, black, and that's what he does. And then, he'll put women of other races above black women. And then when he turned on the camera, y'all, it goes dark. And I'm going to talk shit right now. When he turns on the camera, it goes dark. Now, is that me making fun of him? Hell no. I like black. But how the fuck you going to be black as black can be and talk shit about black people? Make it make some sense. Make it make some sense, y'all. These motherfuckers don't even be a little bit... Jesus. I was shocked when Mac Bones turned the camera on. And then talking about how other women find him sexy and you know, he constantly getting looks from women and da 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 da. And then when he turns the camera on, what? Talking about how he working out and going to the gym. Nigga, you have not dreamt about a gym. You haven't had a goddamn vision of a gym in years. It's apparent. Like, please don't. Please, Father. Even now, I'm asking him to keep me near the cross, honey, because he just don't want it with me. Mac Bones don't want it with me. And I actually was supportive when a lot of people were laughing and kicking and making fun of him all over the space. And I said, no, you know what? Maybe back in his day. You know what I'm saying? I gave him the benefit of the doubt. But no, nigga, you are an antisocial Negro. And you living in your head. Because this bullshit he got going on where he got women just falling out of the sky because he's so sexy. Honey, you are in a dream. Shit, you need to dream about going to the gym. Is what your ass need to dream about. And get your ass out of fucking fantasy land. Don't play with me, Mac Bones. But let's get back to Mr. Connolly. Mr. Connolly is a little different situation. Because I really think it was a misunderstanding. And I really think that it was a matter of people not understanding what I was coming up there to do. And honestly, not actively listening. Let's just keep it real. Either you're not listening or you're not comprehending. And he seems to be a very intellectual person. So I'll just say he just was not listening. Just like I've gone in panels and I'll say something and the men, and I'm just saying in general, I'm just talking about a random panel and the men will go up against me. But a man, I literally had it happen about a month ago. A man will come up right behind me and say the same thing and they'll agree with him. So I think a lot of times it's not what's being said, but it's who's, and in this area, it's who's saying it. It's not what's being said, it's who's saying it that matters. But yeah, Mr. Richard, we're not going to talk about who got sense and who don't got sense because I got plenty of sense, honey. And like I said, I got paperwork to prove it, honey. I got sense in the books and I got common sense. That's just a matter of fact. But everything is not about my coming up there had nothing to do with race. It had nothing to do with sex. It had to do with personality type. That's all I can say. If y'all don't understand it, I don't know what to tell you. What else did Mr. Connolly say? He was bigging up Reg's channel, and I agree with him on that. He bigged up Joe W's beautiful. Joe does have some beautiful horses. I love horses. I started to share a channel, y'all, to check out that I found with some cowgirls. I might still do that. Yeah, I'm a horse lover. Always been a fan. So that was pretty cool. And what else did he say? I'm trying to think, y'all, because he was kind of all over the place. I will agree. Well, I don't agree with the fact that I don't know how to communicate. No, I communicate just fine. But once again, a part of communication is being an active listener. Communication is not just talking. It's listening to what the person is saying. So, I mean, I could say the same about him. Maybe he's not very good at communication. And he said that was his career, language. So, I'm just saying. What else? Y'all, I guess I'm about to get wet the hell up because I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm going to hit this damn track here. Hey, Josh. It says his name is not Mahoghany anymore. It's been denamed. Well, I don't know what his name is, but he, and watch this from the beginning. I don't want you to think that I just came in trashing people. I didn't. You know, I just get tired of, and that's another thing. People, and I'm not talking about you, but the Macbone thing, that's another example. Macbone was talking so much shit in that fucking chat room. Saying all kinds of stuff. Now I don't got no sense and this and this and that. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. That's why I said I ignored him, because I know how to conduct myself when I'm doing an interview. But he thought he was going to be safe. He is not safe. Backbones, you are not safe. And I cannot wait till you bring your fucking ass back on that panel. If I'm available, I'm hitting it. I'm hitting it. I mean, what's the problem? Do you feel intimidated? Were you upset that I had the nerve to do an interview after your interview? Right? Because you've done several on Regis, and then you went over to Super Sly and did one. Were you upset? Are you upset that you're not being welcomed into the game community? And what I was talking about was not games, so I don't understand why you would even be offended. But like I said, poor comprehension. What you upset about, honey? You need to be upset at your parents. That's what you need to be upset about. You need to be upset at your education. Why are you so goddamn ignorant? You need to be upset with the fact that you are a self-hater. I've never seen somebody hate themselves so much that you will never hear Mahoghany Rootz get up here and talk. Now, this is where I did agree with Mr. Richard Connolly, even though he proceeded to drag me, honey, by my goddamn dreadlocks. But one thing he did say is that he believed we were special people, and that's something that me and him have in common. But I guess also something that upset him was the comment. I guess I made reference to scripture, and if y'all want me to post it in my community tab, I will. There is a story in the Bible about the judge Deborah, who was set over Israel by the Most High at that time, because at that time he did not find anybody else fit. But I can get into that story, and and he spoke to her. I don't need to get up here and lie, and I know the Bible, honey. I know the Bible. I've got 5 pastors in my family. So, and I grew up in the church, honey, so I know the Bible. But it seemed like he was offended by me bringing that up as an example. It's just an example, sweetheart. I gave you lots of examples. I gave you examples about the military. I gave you examples about sports teams. I was going to give you examples about music, but I didn't even get into it. So there's lots of examples of different types of leaders. Yeah, he was just completely in his feelings, honey, when I said the Bible. But he made a lot of assumptions about my beliefs about, did I, like I said, I didn't mention race. I didn't mention sex. I would honestly love to have another conversation. I don't know if Reg can do that. Josh, that would be nice if, like I said, I don't want to take over Reg's show. Joshua, when you become a content creator, you might decide you might do it. You never know. When you become a content creator, you've got to do content that is for your whole audience. Reg has over 3,000 subscribers, and most of them are men, and I realize that they don't necessarily want to see Mahoghany Rootz every day. They don't necessarily want to hear Mahoghany Rootz talk reason. They might want to talk about sports, or they might want to talk about Austin Hollimer's mother's titties. They might want to talk about something else, okay? And I respect that. Actually, and I've said this a million times, I really want to see, there's a few of y'all I really, 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 really want to see grow and blow up and explode, and Reg is one of them, because he's been here for so long, he deserves it. He's been here for a long, long, long time. That's why I say, Joshua, I've seen you guys are very much part of his panel, part of his channel. So respect to y'all. But I've seen lots of people pass through Regis, from Preem. Of course, everybody knows OJ, but so I've been here. I've been around. I've been in the clouds a lot of the time. In the beginning of his show, because I just wasn't sure. I wasn't really doing content like that, so I would just watch a lot and laugh. But let's get back to, I might bring that up maybe later on. maybe in the month, if Mr. Connolly wants to do a debate, I will debate him. But I'm really not interested in debating. I'm more interested in having a conversation with the brother so we can get an understanding, because I don't feel like he understood a damn thing that I was saying. I just, it's sad. I just don't think he did. I feel like he thought I was up there to attack black men, and y'all that know me know I would never do that. So, like I said, he used the words, Mahoghany came up here to divide black men, and no, what? No. So he does not know me. He's got a lot of misconceptions, and I would like to get that straight. Now let me look at y'all. Let me see. Oh, let me see. Hey, Aunt, what's up? Good morning. It's almost good afternoon. Joe, let's see. Joe says, I thought Macbone lost his Mac status. His new name is Crashbone. Child, he is so upset. Welcome, Joe. Welcome, Aunt. And I said hello to Cynical. I said hello to everybody. Hey, Zero. Hey, Boo. I'm sorry I didn't see you. Oh, Young Riaz. Hey, Young Riaz. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's get out and walk. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit before. Oh, God, I've been talking for 30 minutes. Lord Jesus. Let's get out here and walk and talk for a little bit, and then I'm going to try and do a slow jog. But I wanted to give you guys my opinions about that. Like I said, I will be backing off a little bit, not leaving the channel, because I'm never going to leave. I'm sorry to disappoint. I'm never going to leave Reg, but I will be watching more from the clouds. But yeah, y'all pass the word along that if Mr. Richard Connolly wants to do, we could do kind of like a panel, just him and I over on Reg's or on my, it doesn't matter. If he's willing to talk to me, although, he clearly thinks I'm not very intellectual, so he might not think me worthy enough to talk to. And that's sad, because I know different. What else did he say? No, but that's really it. You guys, if you want to hear everything over, go ahead and replay it. Let's get the hell out of this car and let's walk and talk kind of for a few minutes. Yes, give me a second. Do I have my headphones? Okay, I got my headphones, my keys. Hold up, y'all. Give me a second. Oh, it's drizzling again. So we got that out the way. Now let's talk a little bit more. Yeah, y'all. So it's true. If you play, especially a movie, literally as soon as I turned the live off, they blocked it. Like, they took it down. I got a notice immediately saying that my video was blocked due to MGM or whatever rights. So that's fine. But it doesn't affect my channel in any negative way. And of course, I go ahead and delete it. It's drizzling, y'all. So, okay, so we got that out the way. Hey, Leo. Other than that, I don't have too much. I did want to talk a little bit about this walking thing, this journey. So, my progress. I feel a lot better. I think I've mentioned to y'all the benefits of walking. It's very, very beneficial. Some say even more so than jogging and running, but I like jogging and running. The reason is because it's something that can be done consistently, and it's a way of maintaining your metabolism. The only reason, someone asked me about my dog. Yes, I still have one of my dogs. The only reason I haven't been bringing him, honestly, because he was dirty. And when he's dirty like that, it really messes up my car. So I finally gave him a bath, so he's not dirty anymore, but I need to get my car kind of straightened. And next time, if I bring him, I will come on camera with him. Yeah, my boyfriend misses our other dog, Hercules, the Rockwilder. He really does, and I can tell. So, and that's the second dog he's lost to health conditions. That's the thing when you buy a purebred, because our Rock is purebred. We got him from a breeder. He was not cheap. He was about $5,000. And when you buy purebreds like that, a lot of times they have health. And you know this, we talked about this on Leon Locke's channel. They have health problems. They tend to be prone to health issues. Like Rottweilers are prone to hip dysplasia, like hip issues. That's why they're so bow-legged. And there's a few other things. I think even the heart, but we had him. I mean, he consistently went to the vet. He actually had a very healthy vet check literally a few days before. So we sent him, or my boyfriend sent him to be, what do you call it? The coroner, autopsy. But they, you know, there's a special place. I think they sent him to Colombia. They sent the body to Colombia. And so we might actually sue the vet, because what I'm thinking is they gave him something that he was allergic to, because that dog was perfectly healthy. I mean, perfectly healthy. So now he could have been born with a heart condition, like I said, lots of, but you get paperwork on them. When they're bred like that, you get all their paperwork. So if he had a heart condition, we should have known about it, you know? Anyway, I know I'm going out. Let me see what let me stop. Joe says because of their size and their weight, large breed dogs have a heart. Yeah, that's true. Hey, Leo. And y'all, I haven't forgotten. Like I said, give me some time. I know there's a lot of shows that I said I was going to do and I haven't done. The surgery kind of put a hiccup in a lot of the stuff I had planned. But we're gonna keep it moving. Mahoghany's just trying to find her place in the world, I guess. Oh, but you know what? I talked to my brother. Matter of fact, I might call him, see what he's doing. He might come out here. But I talked to him, and he's cool with doing at least one podcast show. I think he's going to do one show with me. So that'll be cool. That'll be something different. And he can tell you about me. I feel like, what would my brother say about me? That I'm goofy. I'm really silly. I think all the women in my family kind of have hot tempers, but we're all good people. All of my brothers are kind of opposite. Is weird. They're all laid back, very chill, like cool dudes. Just chill, laid back. They're that guy in the back of the club smoking a cigar. That's them. We're the ones dancing. So yeah, that'll be interesting. And what I'm gonna do to keep it realistic is I'm just gonna ask some questions. We're not gonna go over it before the live. The only thing, we're not going to say anybody's personal name, but yeah, that way it's more authentic. So whatever he says is what he says. Let me look at y'all. Hold on. Oops, sorry. Do you got a hot temper? Oh, I do. What? Oh, I do everything. Like I told you, I just recently got certified maybe 2 years ago. Under something called Hip-Hop Step Fitness. I started to do something called Zumba because I took Zumba for many years. But I chose Hip-Hop Fitness. I might have a few videos if you look on the upload somewhere. But I'm going to get back to that. The reason I stopped doing that, Joshua, is because I had a real bad car accident. And I had to have like some spinal, not surgery, but I had steroids put in my spine. And I did it for a while. I continued against my doctor's orders. But it just became really, really painful for me. You shouldn't be, it's supposed to be fun. But I would come home wanting to cry, honey. It was so much pain on my back. So that's something too else that's on the back burner for me, because I just had somebody ask me a few months ago to teach a class, because I work mostly with kids. Like this right here, this is a community center, but they have kids programs, right? So they have kids art, kids dance, and I work in different centers. I've actually never worked at this one. See, but I have to take you to some of the other ones. I work in more of the poor areas. I like it though. Me and brother was talking about that the other day. It's sad that it took them so long to get this community center up and running the way it should have been years ago. But anyway, I work mostly with, I won't say poor kids, but yeah, like near the city, and kids who really can't afford maybe private lessons and stuff like that. So we charge, but we charge very cheap. Like for instance, my class literally was, what was my class? I think my class was $25 a month. Zumba was like $25 a month. They tennis lessons. They have all kinds of stuff. So, and they have stuff for senior citizens. They have a sit and be fit class. And I was going to start a senior class. But that really, you really have to you have to know, it's not as easy as people think. Because for one thing, you don't want people to hurt themselves. So you have to have your paperwork together. And then with senior citizens, it's a bit of a risk, because, they might have limited mobility. You don't want anybody to hurt themselves. Yeah. And it's just, anything can happen. So, there's certain, I think, certifications, which I do. I have a lot. I have CPR and stuff like that. But I mean, I just was fearful of somebody pushing themselves, because aerobic dance is very, very, it can be very intense. You're going to sweat. Your heart rate's going to go up. And, some of these people, they're on medication, and I just don't want to be responsible. Somebody falls out or something like that. It just really scared me. So, but it is something I was looking into. See, oh, this is my brother. Hey, I told you he was going to show up. Hey, you. Are you coming running?
I'm working.
Oh, okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Oh shit. He is so silly. Let me see what y'all are saying. Okay, you do Darren's dance. I can't see, sweetie. Brownie, you in the building? Hey boo. Hey Taylor. Mulatto said like to run. What's your brother? Oh child, please. I'm not gonna mess with you today. But listen, let's you and me come to agreement. Let's stop taking away from the show, and let's let Reg do his show. Because, like I said, he has lots of subscribers. And one thing I've learned on this thing is people might not think that as a content creator you touch people, but you do. And Reg touches people in ways that maybe we don't realize. Because I know I've had people contact me on email and say, listen, we miss you, come back. We miss your spirit, or blah, 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 blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I was ready to just throw it all away and burn this bitch down, they were like, no. And a couple of them have given me examples. I had one person that was super sick, like super, super sick. And when I got their message, I just bawled out in tears. It was just so moving. And they said to me, please don't go. So as content creators, no, we might not have the largest platforms, but that's not what matters. Like, what matters is, to me, is the people that rock with me and the people that I rock with. And, you know, if I can just touch a few people, that's all I care about. That's really all I care about. My classes, sometimes, you know, I have a full class when I was doing it, and sometimes I might just have 2 or 3 people, but the show must go on, honey. One monkey don't stop no show. So, reg is important to a lot of people, you know. So a lot of men, like Richard was saying, that a lot of men come to his show for laughs, and hell, I come to his show for laughs. You niggas are funny. And you know, they come to be inspired or to hear, you know, Joe is dropping the news, and they want to hear that stuff. They don't want to hear me and you fussing at each other all day. Okay, so we could put that on pause. What else did I want to say to y'all? Y'all, the sun. Hold on. Taylor. Well, I know that's what you think, but who was it? Was it Soul? And was Soul? Even he said we can't do this every day, and I agree. Because they got other topics they want to talk about, Josh. And I respect that. I really do. Just like me, there's some days I want to talk about certain things, and that's what I want to talk about. So we have to be, you know, just respectful of his other subscribers. There was something else. I'm gonna let y'all go. Tailor-made. I wonder. You know, I have all kinds of thoughts around in my head, and one thing I had planned it a while ago is doing like a panel with men and women, like a singles dating thing. I don't know, but if you guys have any ideas, feel free to drop it in the comments and let me know if you got any ideas for me. Because right now your girl is kind of rogue. I'm just kind of doing whatever. Yeah, I'm kind of consistent with this, so this is cool. Open panels, you know, that I go up and down. Sometimes I'm in the mood for it, and sometimes I'm not. Because that can blow up in your face. Let me see what y'all are saying. Okay, let me see. Oh, okay. No new comments. Okay, so, God damn, that was something important I wanted to tell y'all about fitness, about this walking journey. It was very important. Let me think. Damn it. Y'all give me a second. What was it? Well, I guess I'll end it with this. The main thing is be consistent. I will admit, since I've gotten in my 40s, losing weight has been harder. When I was younger, it was way easier. I could just pretty much jog, maybe go a few days without eating something, and, you know, stomach would be as flat as a board. It doesn't work like that now. It seems like because my metabolism is slower, like it takes a lot longer for me to lose weight. I do feel, I have not weighed myself yet. That's another thing. I don't really, even though I have a scale, I don't base my weight loss on the scale. I base it on how well my clothes fit me. So if my clothes were fitting snug and tight and they're a little bit looser, just a little bit looser in a week, then that's progress. Because the scale, especially when you're muscular like me, the scale can play games with your mind. Because the fact is, you might gain weight. Like I jog, but I sprint, and sprinting builds muscles, leg muscles, and they're heavy, and glutes, and they're heavy. So guess what? So if I've been doing a lot of running that week, right, and I've been eating a lot of protein, it might say that I gained 5 pounds. So you don't want to get discouraged by that number. So a little advice on that is don't measure yourself by a number. Measure yourself by the way you look in your clothes. And I also don't do that, but maybe once a week. I did cheat. I think yesterday I had a candy bar. But overall I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. I want to say shout out to Aunt T if he's there. Me and him were on a health show, a fitness show, over a year ago. Fourth quarter talk, and he was talking. I think the topic might have been sugar, but we were talking about sugar. And anyway, he said that he stopped sugar. He just, when he realized how unhealthy it was, and he was describing it. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna stop sugar, and I did. And I haven't necessarily, like I said, my weight is going up and down because of my health, because of the medicines I'm taking, because I'm not as physically active as I was before. But I'll tell you what, I feel a hell of a lot better. So I can tell you that if you want to feel better and feel some improvement, knock those soft drinks off, knock them off. I haven't had a soft drink now in a while. I mean, I used to drink a lot of juice, like apple juice and orange juice and grape juice. I don't even do that anymore. I just pretty much stick with water. I might have a Gatorade or a Powerade or something like that. At first, it might be difficult. Sugar is very addictive, but after a while, you get used to it. Hey, Third. Oh my God, it's good to see you. I have been talking my behind off. Let me see. Yes, I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. I hope you have a great day. Watch it from the beginning. I think it was a pretty positive live. It was long and drawn out, but I think it was positive. I addressed some things, over at Reg's, but it was pretty positive overall. Anyway, you guys, I will see y'all soon with another video. Y'all.